and happy Monday. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great Monday and starting an amazing week. So, today is part two of my interview with Pejman, the guy who called himself the modern poet. And I'm going to see if he's on. So, I invite him. I just sent him an invitation so I can bring him on. We are waiting. Hi, baby. Hi. Yay. You're right on time.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
I'm so happy. Thank you for coming back again.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I
You
love
look very nice today.
you look amazing. You're here. and
Thank you.
and happy Pride. So it's a
Happy Pride, right?
thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. So how are you?
I am not too shabby. I was, I won't lie, I was pretty down this morning,
I
actually.
know, and thank you. That's why I'm asking. I want to thank you because
Yeah.
before you start, I want to tell my viewer that I talked to Pejman like a couple of hours ago, and he wasn't
hmm
feeling well, but he's going to explain to us what he did. So go ahead. Hi, Karen.
Well, it was actually, I felt like it was a couple of days it was build up. And today, it just suddenly, like, you know what, I realized that, oh my god, I'm fighting myself instead of just accepting what's going on. So I did what the logic way would be. I acknowledged my emotions and I cried a river.
That's the best thing.
I cried. Exactly, because when you cry, it's like, wow, it's like all these chains that are holding you, just they all just let go and you're just like, ah. So I think that was great to sometimes remind ourselves that even though if we find ourselves that we think we live peaceful, we've come to peace with ourselves, this doesn't mean that we're not going to have hard challenges, does not mean we're not going to have emotional times, because we are human beings and there's always going to be a moment where it's going to be essential. You're going to need to break down.
Exactly.
You
You
need to let
know,
it all out and express.
the myth here is that we think if we're strong, we talked about it, right? If we think we're strong, we just have to put this shell on and be strong. But part of the real strength, authentic strength, is that you accept it, what you did, right? Accept it, acknowledge it, and let yourself off the hook and have compassion for yourself. You know, that's what we forget. You know, and it's like one of the most important thing I think is first step in loving ourselves is compassion. And what you did today, you had utmost love and compassion for yourself, and I see you feel better now, so I'm happy. And
Yes,
thank you. I know,
I feel better.
sometimes you just want to go hide, but like it's good to get out, it's good to talk, it's good to, I always say we cannot control what happened to us at all time. The only thing we can control is what we do with it. That's up to us. We
Right.
decide that. And I'm very proud of you. You should be very proud of you.
Thank you.
So for my viewers, for last 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, part one, we went through, well, Pejman went through all his lifehood, like from childhood to his teenager years till, and I encourage you all to watch that part because he has an amazing story. And I had to cut him short because the program is just like 30-40 minutes, and I didn't want to cut his story, so they decided to bring him back. So you told me we got to the point that you actually you wanted to suicide. You were really low, and then you talked to your aunt, and what happened next?
Well, she introduced me to interuniversalism.
What is that? Can you explain that?
Yes, I would be more than glad to. So, anti-universalism is something that goes beyond all beliefs. So basically in internationalism, there's no factors such as race, age, gender, or the most important, religion, because internationalism means the race of humanity united as one under the ultimate conscience.
You got disconnected. One of us are disconnected. Guys, bear with me here. I think Pejman has a little bit Wi-Fi issue, but it will come back. That are watching, I think he will come back. Let's see if I bring him back on the camera. Hi, Arya. How you doing? I was talking to Pejman, but he got disconnected. I think he will come back. So I encourage you to watch part 1 of his story. He has an amazing story. This guy has been through so much, you know. When I met him first time, he was dancing in the street, and it caught my eyes because he was so free and so happy. And oh, you're here. So let me see. Ask. I cannot. Let's see. Added you. Add. I'm adding you to the. Nay, back again. Okay.
Sorry. So we
Start
were
over
saying,
again.
sorry. So interuniversalism basically is the connection of all human beings, regardless of race, age, gender, and quote unquote, the most important, religion.
Nice.
In interuniversalism, yes, there is no such thing as, oh, you're
Hi, Matthew.
atheist, I'm Muslim, she's Wiccan, he's pagan, Buddhist. No one cares. You're a human being, and we are all connected to the ultimate conscious, the divine God, power of love, whatever you want to call it.
Source and source
Yes.
energy.
Whatever the way it comes to you and you prefer to announce, that is what we call. And in individualism, basically, it's a practice of learning to become a witness of your own being and to understand that you are more alert of what you do. You're more alert of are you your mannerism, the way you approach people, the way you think, and what. So, for example, ever since I've started neuralism, I feel my mannerism has changed a lot. I'm very alert of how I act, what I say to people.
You
I
notice
regard
what
people.
you're noticing all the time. You are
I'm
very conscious. You're observer of yourself, basically.
exactly, and the most beautiful part about it is that you become more selfless. Even though you do love yourself, you're not so worried about, oh, me. You're going to be considerate of others people's emotions at the same time.
You know, the thing people don't get, most people won't get, is about loving yourself. You know, my mom, for example, when I was a kid, she would always say, if someone doesn't love their family, they would never love you. If you don't love you, you will never love another person. And for me, I had to pay a very, very dear price to understand that, really understand that. But a lot of us think that if we're selfish, we just think about ourselves. But selfishness, the moment you understand yourself, selfish is you understand yourself. Hi, Stuart. Thank you for joining. You understand yourself. You tend to yourself. You disconnect all the attention of outside and put it on yourself. And the more you understand yourself, the more you love yourself, the more compassion you have for others, and the more you
Exactly.
love others. So
How could you love others if you don't initially learn to fall in love with yourself?
exactly.
Which is time through time we say that so much, but we don't
Get
understand
it. We don't get
ultimately
it.
till we
Exactly.
experience it. And
Exactly.
sometimes I guess some of us we have to hit rock bottom. I
I
mean,
was there.
yeah, I mean, I
I
hope
joke
no
about
one
it.
does,
No,
right?
I'm allowed to joke about it because I was there and I know what it
Right?
is. And I tell my clients too, I tell everyone, we don't need to wait till it's too late. We don't need to wait till it's no way but pain through that road, you know. But I
Correct.
was one of those people that ignored and ignored and ignored and ignored. At the end, the universe said, okay, you don't want to listen, this is it. And
You
that's
know,
what happens,
same.
you know. Yeah.
I always thought
One
I
thing,
missed her. Yes.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
One thing that was like we didn't talk about last time is that your aunt has been doing this for so long, and
Hmm.
you never knew about it, right? And you told me something that was really good. The moment you asked, it was like the door opened and
The
it
door's
was there.
open. Yes, exactly. Well, it's so funny because we'll be around people our whole lives that are on a path of journey of self-discovering, spirituality, or anything that is destined for us. For me, it's not just spirituality, but like in the earthly world, it's art, and I've been surrounded by
Anything.
art my whole, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, anything. But until you do not go after it, you won't see it. It's like, let me make a broad example. Excuse me, sorry. So it's this simple. You're walking around like this your entire life,
exactly. Oh my God,
and
so
then
true.
suddenly,
It's gone.
whoa,
Yes.
wow, you see it
Exactly.
suddenly. And that's what makes
Exactly.
it so interesting. I won't lie, I personally was one when I was so wound up about the whole concept of it. And the universe likes to encourage you and makes things more fun and spicier. So
I know. The universe has a very like, crazy sense of humor. I love
it does. It
that.
does. When I had first started, a big sign for me was everywhere I would see orange and blue together. I, it's such a beautiful combination. Actually, I don't know.
It
They
is.
mold very fun together, and everywhere I would look, suddenly I started seeing orange and blue. So for me, orange and blue. I'll show a small little example here. So when I was getting my tattoo, it is a koi fish transforming into a dragon, which is a symbolism in Chinese folklore that when the koi fish swims up the stream to heaven, it transforms into a dragon. And then
Exactly.
around my tattoo is colorful hibiscus flowers, which is the symbolism of life. So I was doing all of this blue, and then my tattoo artist, this is 4 years ago, before I had a clue about my life or anything, any of this kind of stuff, he started doing the horns and the eyes orange. And I was like, whoa, stop. I don't like that color. No. And he looked at me, he paused, he said, this is the color. Don't question it. And I just shut up. I'm like, okay.
I
And
know. The
then,
thing is, when your eyes open, you look back, and then you totally understand what he said.
yeah.
Because, like, Soren Kierkegaard says, you only can understand life going backward, but you have to live life forward. And I've been thinking about it lately for so long. When your eyes are open, when you understand, when you awaken, you truly, when you look back, you can understand everything, and then you can see the pattern. It's just like in one moment all the doors open and you literally download. It's just like a download that you understand everything.
Can I say one important thing? I apologize.
No, no,
I
no,
keep
go ahead.
getting I keep getting text notifications. My sister will stop by to pick something up. I will only reply to her in the midst of this if we get connected, just to tell her to come. The door is open, to let her know, and then we can reconnect. So
It's
if we
okay.
get
Yes.
disconnected, I apologize. Okay. One thing I think is really important. I think that we should mention here is that a lot of people out there who are on the path of enlightenment or self-discovery or encouragement with very good intentions, we need to understand that we can't force people. We
Exactly.
can't we can't talk about something they don't want to hear because it's not helpful.
I love
It's
that.
only pushing them even farther. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If I think the only thing, not I think, I'm certain of, I have
Oh, he got disconnected again. No, please come back. Well, that what happened. That's what happened when it's live and it's Wi-Fi. So we should wait for him to come back. And while he's coming back, anyone have any question? Hi, Karen. Let me ask me any question till he comes back, because I think he got disconnected again and he already told us about it. It's okay. I will add you in. I will be back. I'm add.
Sorry. Okay.
It's okay. Don't worry. Extra grace given. Like that's, again, this is live program, Wi-Fi, all those things.
Right.
And what you were saying is true, because if you truly awaken, you wouldn't care of what other people are and where they are. You just understand that everybody has their own journey. And
You do care, but you know
path.
that you can't push, you can't make someone join something.
You cannot push anyone. You cannot force help anyone, and you cannot make them understand.
What
but
you can do, you can be kind. You can set the example by not judging others, living your own life, not judging, coming from love, and also standing up for what's righteous. Just because we're living our own peace doesn't mean when we see someone doing something fucked up with somebody else that we're not going to say anything, saying, hey, like, this is wrong, you know? But other than that.
Exactly. No, stand. I understand that. I say it this way. I will not do to you what I don't want to be done to me. So, and for me, again, I had to learn my lesson very, very difficult, and it was I was served right. You know, I deserved it, because I was a horrible person. And a horrible person means I had nothing, because when you give up your integrity, the moment you let go of integrity, you have nothing. And I had to learn a great lesson in integrity to become the person that I am today. And from that day, I decided that I will never, ever do anything to anyone that I don't want to do to me, because you are truly what
I have my horrible right here, right behind me. A consistent reminder of the ugly within me, that it to coexist with it.
And you have to, and you have to understand that you have to, I think in some point you have to face it, you have to fight it, and then you have to accept it and love it and tame it. But one thing I wanted to I wanted to know about your circle. You told me about what you do. So tell me a process of how you meditate, how you circle, and how you connect to the source.
So basically, in Interuniversalism, the first round is a 1-year program. It's eight semesters. Each semester is 6 weeks, and you learn a new circle each time, and each one has a different use. For example, the beginning one, the Ultra Heal, the Circle of Ultra Heal, which in Farsi we call Faro Darmani, is for everything. But you have to be practicing. You cannot just announce it, because you have to learn. There's guidelines. The universe is based on rules. So if you have not seen practice for it, you won't understand what's really going on. In Faro Darmani, when we say it, we announce the circle, it is not us who is doing it. It is the source who is in charge. We are always only a vessel and tool throughout everything.
You're a co-creator with the source, basically.
Yeah, like you're just like, okay, source, like, what can I do for you, boss? You know what I mean? Not in a boss. A lot of people might think, like, when they speak of the source, they might think of the source as something as in vanity, whereas in reality, the source is just trying to make us happy.
Yeah.
Working to our own benefits. A new circle I will be practicing this week, that I will be permitted to, because it is called the guidance of the mind. Which is for a person. Yes, we spoke earlier. For, like, you mentioned it so beautifully, how the concept of people with ADHD are not people who are disturbed, yet people who are thinking at a faster pace, because they analyze things so much more, and they like to be more aware. They like to get to the depth of things.
Basically, their brain activities is like 10 times a normal person, So it's
skyrocket.
Just like, yeah, and you can use it again for yourself, for your benefit, not
right.
to look at it as a illness, because there's no illness out there.
No. The concept of the illness is, a lot of people don't understand it when we say this, but it is a concept made up in our own mind based on the stresses and the pains and things we go through.
Exactly.
So in order to do any sort of connections in intuitionism, I would actually like to refer one to everyone, which is open to public. It's called Special Connection. There is no specific position, meaning you don't need to be sitting, laying, or anything, anywhere you're more comfortable yourself. There is no regards to and where you need to be either. It can be any place. You can be in the middle of a concert. The only rule is for you to be aware of yourself. You paying attention to your own existence when you announce it. Like, you can't have any distractions. You need to let go of everything. When we say surrender, means just freeing your mind, so you can just
let it be. Just let it be,
just chill, dude. You know what I mean? Like, And
so it really changed you. It really made you the person you are today, right?
It did. Wow, it did, and
it changed you even, I think, in the last 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks. Like, you are different. You're a different person today. Like, your face.
It's a daily progress. Every minute.
And every moment. I actually get it. Like, this morning when we talked together, you were totally different. Your face changed. Right now, you're totally different. Yeah. You're calmer. You're way calmer. And I love that. You know, you're always happy. You know, every time I've seen you, you're always happy. You're always smiling. But the awareness, the way that you talk, and the way that you are aware of your emotions, it shows in your face. Now, I want you to talk about your book, because you wrote a book. What is it called, and what is it about?
The book is called The Handsome Twist. It's a dark fairy tale, which is inspired. Thank you. It's based on my actual life. So everything that I have mentioned about my own life will be in the book. The book will be coming in, I haven't decided, trilogy or 4 to 5 books. But the first book comes up to the part where I mentioned last time, where I was kissed by a boy, and that boy kissing me made me find my own worth, because I found myself worthy. So that's up to where the book stops. But in general, it's about me growing up gay in Iran, and the main topic that is actually emphasized is my battle with my sexuality, not just as a gay man, but sex itself, and how mentally detriment sex had became for me through prostitution, through being raped, porn addiction, then to moving to America, which unfortunately I must say, I'm not going to say it's just the gay community. It's a very common thing these days amongst human beings, but I was part of the crowd that I had image obsession. And there's nothing wrong with sex. Don't get me wrong. I'm a man. You're a woman. We're human beings. We have needs, each to their own. But the concept is not understanding the limit and what we're actually doing when we become so obsessed with sex. Sadly, in the gay community, we really emphasize on it, and we don't even realize that. And what's bad about it is the side effects. When we only think about image, our friends are going to be people who look just like us, who only think like us. We're going to lack energy.
Believe me, I've been there. I know what you're talking about.
We're going to lack time. We're going to lack empathy. We become shallow without even understanding it. And we can't be mad at these kind of people, or you couldn't have been mad at me, because I wasn't even aware what's really going on. I wasn't aware how cruel I was.
I love that. I love that you know that, and you're putting it so nicely.
I realized,
so elegantly.
Pardon my language, man. I was a mean bitch. And I had no clue until I realized, like, wow, like, is this?
So you are writing that. You are writing that in your book. Part of your book 1, like.
Definitely. I'm hoping this can help reach out to more people and understand, regardless of your sexual preferences, regardless of how much sex you want to have, that you can maintain a balance. You can have friends who don't who aren't only based on your sexual agenda, if you're attracted to them or not, people you can actually connect with, people who can understand you. Because even if we don't talk spiritually, we understand that to some part, sex helps for the mentality, but mainly sex is a craving of our body, and it's like food.
And it doesn't, like, the thing is, uh, you change based on your age and your mind. But again, sex without soul connection, it means nothing. It's just, to me at
Exactly.
least, to me at this point of my life, sex without soul connection is nothing. I rather die without sex than have sex with no connection, no soul connection, so that is really good. I'm looking forward to
I will
read
be
that.
very honest. This one last thing, one last note. Throughout the past month, I went back on Grinder. I mean, you know what Grinder is, right? I went back on Grinder, and I did hook up twice, but then I realized that, wow, like I couldn't.
You're not that person anymore. That's the thing.
Just
When
in the middle, I'm like, I'm sorry, like this isn't happening, and I realized it's because I don't stand there anymore.
Yeah. When you don't
I'm gonna.
see, when you don't know, you don't know. But the moment you know, there's no going back, and that's what happened to you. When you know, when you awaken, when you see. That's the way I can. When you understand something, you cannot pretend. It's just impossible to go back. That's
Right.
that's what it is. Yeah. So when is it? When is it coming out?
We are pausing on because of Corona. There's been like a little delay. My
Yeah.
hopes are hopefully the next by 6 week the latest, because
Okay.
the my blog is the team is also the publishing company is also conducting a blog for me, which is a
Good.
personal blog
Great.
for my website, but it's going to be of a couple of my clothing designings on it. I will have a music video of me dancing and a couple of my recipes just to show off,
Really
not
good.
show off, like more my artistic side as
Do
well.
you have the link now, or everything comes out together?
No,
So
it's
we're
not
gonna.
out yet.
Okay.
The link will be maybe like 10 days before the actual book.
Yeah.
It'll come out.
The handsome twist. One thing you told me
Handsome
about
twist.
was that was when I asked you about the handsome twist. You said about Harry Potter, and you
Right.
remember what you told me. Tell me about
Yes.
that, because it was very interesting, and I want people
Well,
to hear
a
it.
lot of people ask me, like, if we were to say what category could we put your book in, I tell them again, because my editor said your book is nothing I've ever even read before. It's so different. But if I personally were to go down and categorize it, I'd say maybe a cross between, imagine Harry Potter growing up in a Handmaid's Tale kind of life.
That was amazing. That was really good.
Well, when you consider the magic part of it, and then you consider the oppression, because as a woman from Iran, you can totally relate to that, and me as a gay male, we've we've ex- we haven't had the
I
same
know,
experience, but
exactly. The
we've
thing
had
is,
similar experiences.
exactly. I totally get it. But it's a very nice. I really love that, because I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, the books, and not so much
Harry
movies. But
Potter.
and the thing is, what you say, it's really interesting. One last thing before I let you go.
Sure.
Is that anything that you want to talk about, that you want people to know about, how to truly find a place in themselves, because there is no place outside, right? How to
Right.
truly find a place in themselves, to be happy, to be content, to be
I think,
themselves.
yes. I think one really, really big factor people don't realize is their dependency on social media, because it really builds a false expectation in our minds. And sometimes you got to learn to pull back from everything else. We need to learn to have me time. When you learn to have more me time, the universe will speak to you more, because ultimately everyone is destined to learn to fall in love with themselves on earth. It's
I
inevitable.
love that. I love that. That is so true. Yeah.
And one more the last important thing I I give advice to everyone is to learn to not judge anyone.
How do you
We
get
don't know
there?
their
How do you get there? What is the thought process? How do you speak with yourself when you notice you're judging someone? Tell me that.
I instantly tell myself, hey, like, calm down, dude. I instantly I'm like,
I do
yo,
too.
like, I'm
What's
like,
up?
hey, like, that's not our business. Or if even if I know someone, even if I know that they're wrong, I say, you know what? In Farsi we say "Bezer tu jahle khodesh bemune," but in English we would say, let them drown in their own ignorance. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for everyone. I'm responsible for me, and that's it. Bottom line, just be kind, be loving, and the more kind you are, the more you love yourself, everything will fall in place itself. We don't need to do anything, because
You
the
do the same
source will
thing with
work their way through
yourself too,
us.
right? You do the same thing with yourself too, right? You don't judge yourself.
No,
You have the same
I used to judge
compassion.
myself so hardcore. Like, what is that? Like, I'm not gonna lie, over the past 2 years, I had a little marijuana addiction, and like when you get the munchies and all. So I was
Hi,
just
Joey.
eating, and then I had fibromyalgia too. So I really lost my shape, and I was judging myself based on my image, something I had learned
Exactly.
in West Hollywood. Unfortunately, I'm not judging people in West Hollywood. I'm saying it's just I learned that in the ambience, because that's what we're teaching each other out there, ourselves out there. But then I came and so I started, you know what? I started saying, I love you. I started waking up, accepting myself as it is, giving love to my naked body, and saying I'm beautiful. And then before I could know it, I lost 15 pounds, and my six pack is probably like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks away. Maybe 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks, not four. Four is too much. So
I understand that, and it's so good that you brought this up because, like, right now I'm launching a program that is mind, body, and soul because I was gonna stop doing like
the
health
proper
coaching.
package,
Yeah, yeah, I was because I'm a former health coach, fitness instructor.
right?
I was gonna stop that, but first of all, a lot of people ask me, and second of all, I've noticed that the more my mind is trained, the more my body work with me. So it's really
Oh
good
yeah.
that and it's part of and is loving your body, loving yourself is very, very crucial part of getting there with your physical body. So it's really good that you actually brought this one up. And
If we were to help
eh,
anything, I'd probably say just from right now, no matter where you're standing, start practice saying I love you to yourself just as of
exactly,
now.
exactly,
Just
exactly.
practice. The rest will do the work.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
for
love
having
you.
me.
I
I love
love
you
you.
as well. You're
And good,
wonderful.
you are wonderful. Good luck with your book, and please let me know when your website and your book comes out, and we can like put it up there so people can actually see. I'm waiting for it because I love fairy tales. I love
Harry Potter
magic.
and Handmaid's Tale.
I love all the darkness and all the light, all the good versus evil. So I'm
Right?
one
It's
of
so
your
fun.
I'm one of your biggest fan. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Have an amazing week. Thank you guys all. And you can watch this video here on Facebook, or I will put it up on my YouTube channel. Love you all. Have an amazing week. Mwah. Love you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.